All right, so as you guys know, I am trying to work my way through the bureaucratic process of getting my citizenship here in the Kyrgyz Republic, or as most people just call it, Kyrgyzstan. Um, the list of stuff isn't really that long. Documents you got to provide, etc. It's mostly just jumping all these hoops, and the hoops just seem to move all the time. And so one of the requirements is proof of one of the official languages, which of course in Kyrgyzstan, one of those is Kyrgyz and the other is still Russian, as Kyrgyzstan used to be part of the Soviet Union, and Russian is still a big part of the education system, the just general world that we live in here, especially in the capital city, Bishkek. And so today I am going to go and try and prove that I speak Russian, which I do to some degree. It depends on who you ask whether or not I speak Russian or not. But I am a little bit nervous about it because I never actually took Russian courses. I never actually, when I first got here, I did try for a month and I just didn't have the time, the capacity, because I was working all day and then trying to squeeze in a lesson at the end of the day when you're already tired. It doesn't help. You don't get a lot out of it. And so I just did something different, and I can listen, I can speak, I can read pretty well. I'm not good at writing because my spelling is terrible, a result of not taking classes and getting told over and over again to spell it properly, etc. And my grammar is bad because, again, didn't take the classes that hammered the different cases and declensions, etc., and all of that, which if you've studied Russian, you know how awful that is, right? So anyways, going over to a place called Kyrgyz Test. It is now the only place where you are allowed to do an official language exam here in Kyrgyzstan to prove your ability to speak one of the official languages. It used to be that you could go and get a certificate from a little language school or something. I have a friend who did that. He just went, sat for a while with someone at this language school, talked with them in Russian for a bit, and then was asked to come and teach some English courses, just like 3 or 4, and they gave him a certificate. Now I will say his Russian is not very great, but it's passable. And those days are over. Now we have to go through Kyrgyz Test, which is a government-sponsored testing outfit. So for those of you who might also be interested in gaining your Kyrgyz citizenship in the future, that is where you have to go and get your language certificate. It's not written anywhere in the list of documents that this is a requirement, but after meeting multiple times at the bureaucratic office Son, that is the reality. I can't just find a loophole for this one. You got to go through the government testing agency. So, and that is Kyrgyz Test. They've got a website. It doesn't have a lot of information on what the test will be. It does have the information for their banking account so that you can send them money. That's the most important thing. It costs 450 soms, and if you pay through a bank, they charge you, I think, like a 50 som interest, not interest, but a fee, like transfer fee. You can also pay through Odengi, and I think there's one other one that they allowed. But I just went through the bank. I was already there for something else anyways, and so it just worked out. But yeah, and the location is up Sovietskaya all the way almost to Akhunbayeva. You'll see a big new Kapito restaurant on the left-hand side. There's an underground walkway, and it's kind of tucked back on the right side of whatever that street is there. I can't remember what it's called. But that's where they're at. 9 o'clock and 1 o'clock are the times when you can come in, stand in line, and hope they've got enough space for you to take the exam. There's no pre-registration allowed. You need to bring your passport and your receipt. You got to show the receipt that you've paid, and you're good to go. It's a 2-hour-long exam covering grammar, reading, writing, listening, and one other section as well, I believe. So 2 hours of Russian language. You have to get a 60% to pass. You can retake individual subtests. For example, if you did really well on everything except for grammar, it's probably going to be me, you can retake just the grammar section of the exam at a later date. There are rules on how long you must wait depending on what bad of a grade you got. So if you almost passed, you can take it again in like 3 days. If you did really badly, you have to wait a whole month. The assumption is that if you did really badly, you should probably go study for a whole month. So I'm really hoping I can either just squeak by with the minimum amount or, do only just barely bad enough that I can retake the subtest pretty quick. That's the language certificate portion of getting your citizenship here in the Kyrgyz Republic.